Hello everybody, it is me, Jordan Young, back with another Certified Hood Classic. Today we're going to be talking about Nike suing the shoe surgeon. Yeah, that's right, this has been a long time coming and we're finally here. Nike are taking the bro to court over what they're calling his illicit Nike empire. We're going to go through the lawsuit, which is 63 pages. And don't worry, we're not going to go through all of it. I'm just going to pick out some of the key points. Also want to talk about and react to some of the most popular comments I've seen out there on IG and elsewhere commenting on the matter. And talk about what this lawsuit could spell for the future of sneaker customization moving forward and whether or not the shoe surgeon is ultimately toast. Before we get into the lawsuit itself, let's just go through a little bit of context. I've seen a lot of people out there talking about why has this taken so long? Why didn't Nike do something about this earlier? And I actually made a video on this exact subject, which I will link above. Why doesn't Nike sue the shoe surgeon? And the reality is that Nike and the shoe surgeon have an established relationship. They've actually done collabs before in the past. Nike have sought out his talents and services for one-of-one commissions, famously for LeBron when he got the scoring record and when he passed Kareem. He's also in some small part been quite valuable for Nike because a lot of his custom work sells for crazy amounts of money. He has this really powerful brand image and identity that's really popular with a very high-end type of clientele. And so as long as he's been doing these one-of-one commissions, Nike have been pretty cool with him, but that has all changed. So he's being sued by Nike in the court of the Southern District of New York, and there are a number of counts. There's something like 8 counts, but the main counts, the ones that we're interested in, is trademark infringement as well as counterfeiting. Now, if you don't already know, trademark infringement occurs when a product is made that is likely to cause confusion among consumers as to its origin or as to whether or not the person that owns those trademarks had any involvement in it. The counterfeiting claim is based mainly in the fact that the shoe surgeon does a lot of deconstruction and reconstruction work. That is to say, he essentially makes Nikes from scratch, and any Nike product that is made unauthorized from Nike is a counterfeit product. That actually gets worse for the shoe surgeon as well, because part of the claim involves Nike suing him for creating an academy, which they call Counterfeiting 101, a course that you can buy where you can essentially learn how to make these fake Air Jordan 1s or Air Jordan 4s or Air Force 1s or whatever from scratch. And he's also, alongside this course, selling things like tools and molds and cutouts of Nike trademarks to make the whole process of making these counterfeit Nikes easier. It should also be mentioned that the shoe surgeon has been doing this for a long time. His whole bag is basically taking Nikes and then blending them with other really famous brands and then putting his logo in the mix and then selling these shoes for extremely high prices to high-end clientele. And Nike have actually sent him cease and desist letters in the past, but according to the lawsuit, every time they hit him with a cease and desist, he complies initially, takes the products in question off the website, waits for the dust to settle, and then throws them back up on the website or sells them through another channel or sells them in his physical retail stores. The lawsuit is 63 pages long, and it is really interesting, and it is really detailed. In my opinion, it is really strong. I will put a link in the description below if you guys wanted to check it out. It does make for some pretty compelling reading. And shout out to Sneaker Legal for providing that link. But what I want to do now is just go through the factual allegations. Some of them aren't particularly interesting. Some of them I'll give a little bit of commentary on. But the first one is that the Nike brand is the most valuable and recognizable footwear and apparel brand in the world. In this section here, they basically just talk about their brand being really famous and talk about all the different patents and trademarks they have. They talk about all of the influence they have as well as all the goodwill that they've accumulated in their brand over the years. B, Nike maintains strict licensing and quality control standards in order to protect goodwill in the Nike asserted marks. Now, before you guys go off laughing and saying, what's quality control standards. This whole part is to basically just set out the fact that Nike are in control of their asserted marks and any sort of quality control associated with those marks. C, Nike offers its own customization service. What this is saying is that Nike is not anti-customization. They're not just trying to go out after all the customizers. On the contrary, they have their own customization program where they invite people to go online to the Nike By You program and take the shoes and change up the materials and change up the colors, blah, blah, blah. So they're basically just trying to illustrate the fact that they're not going after these guys for no good reason. D, and this one's a big one. Defendants were on notice that they required Nike's consent to customize, to alter, or otherwise use in commerce any of the Nike asserted marks. And this relates to them actually being cool with the shoe surgeon doing these sort of one for one, or one out of one customizations when he started up in 2016 and 2017. They also partnered with him on a set of something like 3 dozen Air Jordan 13s. They had him customize a pair of LeBron 15s. They did a LeBron 20 back in 2023. And what they're saying is that these commissions or limited engagements to commemorate the achievements of LeBron did not give the defendants the unfettered right to use Nike marks to customize Nike shoes and manufacture fake Nike shoes from scratch. Yet that's exactly what the defendants have done. Ooh. E, defendants create a false air of credibility through their past Nike dealings. And so what these guys are saying here is that because Nike and the shoe surgeon have worked together in the past, they seem to have used these past dealings as a way to sort of justify them ripping Nike off in the current moment. In the website, they actually cite a 2020 video interview on the Soul Collector where Ciambrone was asked if he was concerned about legal trouble from customizing shoes from brands like Nike, where he actually commented in the video, "I work with brands, I work with Adidas, I work with Nike." F, defendants reshape their business around copying, counterfeiting, and relying on the Nike asserted marks. And when you look at the breadth of the shoe surgeon's work online, it pretty much is predominantly ripping off Nike shoes. G, defendants' unlawful open commissions and sale of new and counterfeit Nike shoes. Even though defendants claim on their website that they sell a customization service, which is, just as a side point, one of the main ways that customizers get around being sued by these big brands, they don't actually sell the shoe, they sell the service. You're not paying for the physical shoe, you're paying for the labor on the shoe. As a result, what you tend to do is provide the shoe, but in the shoe surgeon's case, what they do is they actually buy the shoe, and in the lawsuit here, it says they refer to it artfully, which I liked, as a sourcing fee. So Nike is saying that with these customs or these new shoes, what ends up happening is they materially change the shoe so much that it can no longer be considered an authorized Nike shoe. But despite the fact that very little or no Nike materials remain on the shoe, these still feature the asserted marks. And these are the pictures of some of the items in question. This section also elaborates a little bit on the whole counterfeit shoes or the making these shoes from scratch, which the shoe surgeon is involved in himself. And he's also responsible for overseeing an academy that basically teaches people how to do this. The defendants have used Nike trademarks to create infringing marks that include their own branding and make it appear as though all the parties have collaborated. So if you look at these logos, you've got the Wings logo with the Air Surgeon there, you've got the Nike Air logo with the Surgeon Air, and then you've got the Nike swoosh with the Surgeon SB. So as soon as you start integrating your own brand into the trade dress or the logo, you are flying pretty close to the sun, my boy. I think you're starting to get the picture. I want to just mention this one before we go into exactly what it is that Nike wants from this whole situation. But defendants' brand partnerships and unauthorized collaborations with third parties are unlawful. And we've actually seen this happen in recent times where the shoe surgeon has been sued by Goyard. And if you wanted to check out my video talking about him being sued by Goyard, I will link the video above. But basically, he's taking these famous prints and trade dress from other brands like Goyard or Louis Vuitton or Gucci or whatever, and then he's slapping them on a Nike, and then he's putting his logo on top of it as well. So it's this big old intermingling brand logo fiesta, and Nike is suggesting that this is unlawful because it's trademark infringement of a grand nature and it's likely to cause consumer confusion. So what do Nike want? They basically want an end to these sneaker customization workshops. They want the cessation and submission of any of the remaining products associated with these workshops delivered up to Nike. They want any of the remaining counterfeit shoes or any of the current products featuring Nike trade dress to also be given up to Nike. All of these items are to be delivered up for Nike to do away with them. And then they want some damages. I've seen a few numbers floating around on the internet. There's nothing specific to that 60 million figure I can see in the lawsuit itself. What it says here is an order that defendants account to Nike for any and all profits earned as a result of defendants' acts in violation of Nike's rights. So they basically have to show them the books and show them all the money that they've made from selling these Nikes over the years, which could be a pretty hefty number. And Nike want basically 3 times such profits or damages, or whichever amount is greater, together with attorney's fees as well as expenses. So yeah, it's a pretty hefty penalty staring down the face of the shoe surgeon and his co-defendant Mbimbo. Right, so let's go through some comments, man. I've been seeing so many people comment this and comment that on all the numerous posts that different sneaker pages have been making, and I just want to address a few things. The first one is this one. They have nothing else to do. Nike is doing terrible right now, so they are trying to make or get money any way they can. Bro, the idea that Nike are trying to use litigation as a way to make money in these times is so stupid. It's dumb. What they're doing here is they're protecting their trademarks. They have built up this brand identity over so many years now. The shoe surgeon has been warned before. He's been sent cease and desists, and he's just ignored them. He's gotten rich off their trademarks, and they're just coming for what's there. So I think the idea that they're doing this because they've fallen off or because they need money right now is stupid. He literally designed stuff from scratch though, using premium materials, way different than making reps. Maybe Nike should instead hire the guy to boost their QC. Bro, this comment has like 756 likes. So first and foremost, he is making reps. He is making counterfeits. Anybody that knows the game from a customization standpoint, the whole decon, recon game is just pure reps. He's making Nikes from scratch. The moment you slap that Nike logo on it, boom, it becomes a rep. It's not authorized by Nike. It doesn't have the permission of Nike to be made. Therefore, by definition, it is a counterfeit. Maybe hire him instead of dropping weak-ass colorways. Bro, why would Nike hire the shoe surgeon? First of all, how many of you guys out there have a pair of shoe surgeon kicks? How many of you guys out there are really willing to pay $7,500 for a pair of counterfeit Nikes? Nobody. What type of new designs has the shoe surgeon brought to the fore? He's basically built his entire career off the back of other brands. Nike have thrown him an olive branch in the past by collaborating with him on these special projects, but he doesn't bring anything new. He's not an innovator. He's not a designer. He's basically a piggybacker. And considering he's ignored Nike's requests to get on together and collaborate together and cease and desist when he's been out of pocket, I feel like he's lost his chance. So no, the idea of hiring him, bro, forget about it. This might be the stupidest comment I saw all day. Does Nike understand that he customizes actual Nikes? So they got their dollars. I guess Honda should sue every car enthusiast that mods their Civic because they're driving around counterfeit Hondas customized with aftermarket parts. Case should get dismissed. Bro, this comment has 441 likes. I actually lost intelligence reading this comment. Does this person that's commented think that Nike have a problem with people customizing shoes for their own personal consumption? Because that's to just completely misunderstand Nike's position. If this analogy was to hold, the person not only modifies the Honda, but then they sell the Honda on, and then they create another Honda from scratch and then sell that on, and then they scale it up to the point where they are mass producing Hondas without Honda's express authorization and then profiting off it. And then they start up a factory where they teach other people to build up fake Hondas. This person is just completely out of the loop here. And there are so many other bad comments out there. I really just took a small sample from like a couple of minutes of scrolling around. But I guess the big question is, what does this mean for sneaker customization moving forward? If you have an X-Acto knife or a Sharpie pen or a paintbrush and you like to doodle on your kicks, should you be quaking in your boots right now? No. Of course not. Nike have said it. They don't have a problem with sneaker customizers doing commissions, selling your labor. The problem occurs when you scale it up at a commercial level and start making some big bank. As soon as you start messing around with the logos, as soon as you start deconstructing and reconstructing and flagrantly selling online and then selling on your Instagram and then physical retail stores, and then you start up an academy to teach people how to do the same thing. That's the type of attention you don't want from Nike. So for the smaller customizers out there who are doing it for the arts, doing it for the love, you guys are good. But if you're thinking of scaling up a business where you're trading in Nike trade dress and trademarks, you are fucked. And there we go. Those are my thoughts. That is the case in a nutshell. Obviously, the lawsuit is way more detailed than I had time to explain for in this particular episode. I'd encourage you guys all to read the lawsuit. It's quite interesting. My own thoughts is that the shoe surgeon is toast. He's done. He's not going to be selling Nike products on the website anymore. He's probably going to have to pay a whole bunch of damages. Despite the fact they've asked for a jury, they'll probably end up settling well ahead of time, but I can see him facing a huge amount of financial reparations, as well as needing to adjust his business model moving forward. And I think it's fair play, to be honest. What do you guys think? Feel free to let me know down below. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like it before you bounce, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care for now, and peace.